Hey guys, welcome back to Tune Into Art, where I hopefully help you open your eyes to art beyond just pure entertainment. Last video, I covered Golden from the crazy popular movie K-pop Demon Hunters. If you have not watched that video, I would implore you to go do that now, as I will be referencing it a lot, and I'm going to talk in this video assuming you have. Of course, there are heavy spoilers ahead. Lastly, if you do enjoy these super personal breakdowns, please consider subscribing. I am a tiny channel. And these videos take a lot of work. If I can grow 500 subs, I can use the hype feature, which will help even more. Anyways, let's get started. So what it sounds like plays just after your idol has been performed by the Saja boys. Everyone's in a trance, slowly marching towards the flames of Guima to feed themselves to him. Completely enveloped in idol worship and inner despair. It's so bad that even the guy who was generally flip-flopping between Huntrix and Saja Boys is wearing a Guima shirt. It's funny and easy to miss detail. As a side tangent, I have a lot of questions about this scene and several issues with the movie because it's by no means perfect, and I plan on making a video about that eventually as part of my analysis of it. But I will set that aside for now. Just know that it is coming in the future, and please give us the Snyder cut. Anywho, Saja Boys performed, and Rumi has visited Celine, who has rejected her, as she's done her entire life. She can't even look at her. Rumi begged her to love all of her, and Celine just couldn't. Back to those themes of generational trauma. Somehow in this moment, Rumi finds not self-hatred, but resolve. She uses her newly accepted demonic powers to teleport back to the stadium where the crowd and Guima are, and there is a short, disjointed dialogue. We hear Guima talk directly to Rumi for the first time, since for reasons that, for the video's sake, we will not speculate on, she's the only person he couldn't get to. He tries his normal tactics on her, and just when he thinks he's gotten her, she locks in. They will make a new Hanmoon. Not her, she says we. She's aware that this is not a battle she can win alone, and in order to get everyone back from the brink of despair, she has to completely unmask and become vulnerable. And so she does just that. Nothing but the truth now, nothing but the proof of what I am, the worst of what I came from, patterns I'm ashamed of, things that even I don't understand. The first two lines are fairly self-explanatory. She's telling the truth, and she's opening up for the first time, basically ever. She's apologizing to everyone, including Mira and Zoe. The second two lines tie back into those themes of not understanding how things work in this world, as I talked about in Golden. Starting with the patterns I'm ashamed of. For these videos, I need to be honest about how I look at art through a personal lens. I grew up around a lot of conflict, and some of what I learned was wrong, and it stuck. I carried harmful ideas about gender and race. I slid towards resentment and isolation. I'm not proud of that. Getting out of it took time, better information, and a lot of self-reflection. I had to ask where those beliefs came from and why they felt comfortable and what they were costing the people around me. I'm in a healthier place now. That came from quitting the patterns, listening more than defending, and building relationships that run on respect. That is the lens I bring to the scene. Not a flawless past, but a choice to tell the truth and keep changing. Just as another side tangent, if you can afford therapy, get therapy. You just do not know how much you need therapy. Every one of you. Even if you think you're completely stable, you aren't. No one is at this point. The world is hectic and crazy. You cannot possibly process everything that's happening, and the human mind has not evolved that far yet. Everything is too much these days. Just know that the patterns do not have to be physical, and in fact are not in most cases. They're generally behavioral, like punching walls or manipulating people. Other patterns could be going onto a video about a movie people love and crapping on it. Why would you do that? You can go to Rotten Tomatoes or Google Reviews and talk to your heart's content, but why would you go to a video about K-pop Demon Hunters just to talk crap about it when there's people there who love it? Your only objective is to ruin someone else's good thing, and that's not right. That's a pattern. Getting past these patterns is the first step to self-improvement, so I would ask you to look inside yourself, and I would also ask yourself why you would want to do that. It may seem harmless, but it's a negative pattern that could be indicative of something much greater inside yourself. Aggravating other people on an emotional level should never be fun. Back to the actual song. The characters are just as much in the dark as we are as the audience. We don't know what Rumi is. With what we're provided in the movie, we have plenty of room to speculate, but even the wildest things could be true. So when she says things that even I don't understand, she really means it. And that's really important because she's admitting she doesn't understand what's truly going on. And that's the first step in breaking generational trauma. There's also potentially racial tones in the movie, but I don't want to call any race demons. It's more like when people racially profile others, they see them as demonic. I think we can find plenty of examples in the real world. If that statement upsets you, perhaps you have patterns you don't even understand. I mentioned it in Golden, but art is inherently social and political. It is unavoidable. Even back in the early days, bards and jesters performed songs for kings. Jesters were basically the only people who could make fun of a political leader to their face. Not always, but a lot of the time they could do it, and it was part of their act. It was their job. Bards would sing in taverns about kings and mythical adventures, which also have religious and political undertones. Art is made to comment on reality. The point is, patterns do not necessarily have to refer to a movie's physical patterns. They can be social or psychological, and something as simple as nail biting or as huge as being a serial cheater or abuser in a relationship. For the next verse, she says, I tried to fix it. This is something I can very much relate to. I'm notorious for trying to fix everything, whether or not it's my business. Like, have you ever had your spouse walk up to you and tell you a problem that they were having and you immediately try to give advice or solve the problem yourself somehow without being asked to? That's a thing a lot of us are guilty of. I feel like I need to fix everything. It's hard-coded in me. I don't like hearing about a problem and saying, well, good luck with that. I want to do everything I can, and it's just not feasible. It's not even always wanted. Sometimes people just need someone to listen. My head was twisted speaks to that generational trauma again, and just learning new information and accepting it even if it conflicts with how you were raised. This can range from social issues to politics and even religion. You're constantly conflicted in the ways you were raised versus what you know to be better. Your own internal instincts and, again, trying to fix it and fight it instead of just being a good listener. There's always something as a human for you to learn and to adjust to, and I think these lines speak a lot to that. They may say something totally different to you, though. My lies all collided is a line that I personally can't find personal, deeper meaning that resonates. It's specifically for Rumi, and I conceptually understand what it's saying, but I also really try to be honest all the time. I don't like lying. I find life to be much easier to be direct and honest. If I have an issue with something, I just say it. That's just me, though. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side ties into obvious trust issues. She could have at any point told Zoe and Mira about her past, but she didn't. We know why she didn't trust them, of course. Celine had reinforced that behavior over and over, but it goes back to that heart-divided line. She knew she could likely trust Zoe and Mira with her past, but her upbringing won over, telling her they would turn on her because demons were evil. This can extend to the real world with something as simple as asking for help when you need it. Again, something I'm really bad about. You might especially understand this if you are one of those people who just can't accept someone's kindness and always assume an ulterior motive. Trust can be a very scary currency these days. From here on, we move into a sort of pre-chorus. I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. I think this is pretty direct. When she says, I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, she did. Rumi broke, and I'm sure everyone watching this in some way or form is broken, and you can't return to your innocence. As you grow up, you're going to break, and you're going to have to rebuild yourself each time. When you shatter a vase, you glue it back together, and it's not the same vase anymore. If you broke it again and put it back together, it's going to be even more different. Eventually, you will be able to see the original patterns, but it will never be the same. You can try to heal and fix yourself, but you can never go back to who you were because those new memories are a part of you. But you can also reshape those things. Maybe you can turn that glass from a vase into a new object, or maybe even multiple objects. My uncle took a tree that we'd cut down and made a log into a stool. That piece of wood would have never been a tree again, but now it's something new and still useful. The scars are part of me, and the darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. Again, these are pretty straightforward. The last line is powerful, and I'll explain that momentarily, but the other two tie back to what I was saying about you can never fully heal from damage you take. You're always going to have it, even if you can't see the scars on your skin anymore. It was there, the skin cells are gone, and that is now a new piece of you. It's the same with everything else, right? The scars of my own childhood are a part of me, and instead of using them to be super salty, I use them to help me learn how to treat other people better. The pain I personally experience gets channeled into me wanting to everyone to be happy in their own life. Just because I was damaged doesn't mean I have to make it generational. I can put that energy into being a better person for myself. Others take that and use it to hurt other people in the same way later. I can't say who I'd be without what I went through. In fact, I know I wouldn't be the same person. That doesn't mean it's a great recipe for empathy. It just means that's how I adapted myself. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. When you start being honest, this is the person you are. The people get to see the real you, not a mask or facade, and it makes life so much easier when everyone knows who you are up front. You can just both determine if you'll honestly click. Finally, the beat of the song picks up and we move into the chorus, which is fitting because this is when Zoe and Mira start chiming in. Why did I cover up the colors stuck inside my head? Zoe is talking about, as I mentioned in the Golden video, she may be someone with autistic or really bad ADHD tendencies. She also appears to have an insulin pump on her arm, so she's representative of several issues that people in the real world go through. Zoe is absolutely my favorite character. Her obsessiveness resonates quite a bit with me. The way she pops out 16 notebooks for everything and has tons of turtle videos lined up to watch. Again, relatable. When When I finished Elden Ring, I absolutely watched like 30 hours of lore videos. Heck, with this movie, I got sucked into a rabbit hole of react videos. I watched a psychologist react to the movie. I paid $5 to watch that. Mira comes in with, I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. When light reflects or refracts on glass, it creates colors. So again, we're talking about colors. You know what I mean though, if you go outside and shatter a drinking glass in the sunlight, it'll shine with 1,000 colors. It's more about the light from inside of you meeting the jagged edges of the broken pieces of yourself and making art or creating. And again, now there's something new, something beautiful. The last line is my favorite, and it gets more powerful the longer the song goes on. Show me what's underneath ties back to my voice without the lies. It's asking for the bearing of her soul to be reciprocated. I'll find your harmony means no matter what they show her, she'll find a way to resonate and support them. You can't just expect people to harmonize with you. Sometimes you have to harmonize with them, intellectually or emotionally. The final line is entirely story related. The song they needed to sing together was never going to be golden. It was a great dream, but I don't think any of them truly believed in it, least of all Rumi. Here, the song stops being quiet. It has a peak. We shatter the silence. We are rising defiant, shouting at the quiet, you're not alone. Then we listen to the demons. We let them get between us, but none of us are out here on our own. This is the turn that makes it my favorite track. They stop hiding and starts to say what's in their heads. They stand against what they were taught was right and wrong, and in the film, that meant treating demons as simply mindless evil entities that needed exterminating. Tied back into Golden, Rumi believes that, and Celine kept reinforcing that mindset. Here, they drop it. They shout into the quiet and say you're not alone. Rumi's fear was isolation. This section answers it. K-pop Demon Hunters is inner demon trauma and shame. If you listen to those voices, they split people apart. Naming it closes the gap. So we were cowards, so we were liars, so we're not heroes. We're still survivors, the dreamers, the fighters. No lying, I'm tired. But dive in the fire and I'll be right here by your side. Woo, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, yeah, they were cowards and liars. I talked about it in Golden where they all pretended like they were okay. And again, that's the entire problem with Golden, is that it was just one giant lie. Both times they attempted to perform it, they were interrupted by Rumi's lack of faith in the song. The first time it was her markings manifesting and choking her out, and the second time it was literally interrupted by her perception of Zoe and Mia. I mean, yeah, it was the demons performing, but they were the exact things Rumi had always feared they would be. It's so subtle, I don't even blame anyone for having missed that little tidbit. After the second performance of Golden, they very much react how Rumi had feared they would, but it's not because she's part demon, it's because she lied to them for years. Her being part demon is not just a huge reveal for them, but it immediately throws everything they know and were taught into question. Confusion and fear take over, and they point their weapons at her. Back to what it sounds like, we do the chorus again, but then the movie moves into the most powerful moment, literally and figuratively. Everyone starts waking up from their trance-like state, and Guima put them in. The voices of the girls and the power of their song itself helping them to accept themselves starts waking them up, and of course starting with Bobby. We love Bobby here. The crowd joins into the song, but it's not just what it sounds like they are singing. They're humming the motif of Golden. The song has made them start accepting themselves and facing that inner turmoil and accepting it. I don't think Guima is defeated here. You can't defeat him. Even a decade of therapy cannot defeat depression. But humanity in this moment is fighting the demons, their own demons. It's kind of like a Goku spirit bomb. When everyone's voices combine, this is what it sounds like. This is the harmony that the entire world could display if we all work together in unity. When mankind comes together, they can do incredible things. We can go to space. We can create invisible information networks with the entire collective knowledge base of the human race. It's pretty wild, and music has the power to contribute as well. And that's why the song gets me every time. You open up your mind and you picture 9 billion people working together for a greater good and the things that they could accomplish. You can't help but wonder, why can't we do that? We need to do that. And that is effectively the end of the song. The chorus repeats and we get a different last line. Truth after all this time, our voices all combined. When darkness meets the light, this is what it sounds like. Everyone is harmonized. It doesn't matter that some of them probably can't sing very well. It's just the world coming together and defeating the darkness within themselves. And that's what it sounds like. To me, this is easily the best song in the movie. If it didn't require so much context, I would say this is one of the best songs in history. But unfortunately, you need an entire movie worth of subtext to truly understand what it's saying. As a song on its own, it's pretty good. But when you have all the pieces, it's extremely moving. And that's the end of this video. I really hope you liked it. I know I tend to ramble on. The original script for this video was 19 pages instead of a mere 7, so you got off easy. Thank you for watching. Again, likes, comments will help out a bunch. Subscriptions, obviously. Not just for the channel, but in motivating me to keep going. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one where we go over Free as requested by my dear editor.